Hello, good Sunday evening, everybody. Welcome here to the Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show. So, we're here with a new Prog album. This one won't come as a surprise that we're doing it. It's about to put on a second pair of glasses there. So, this is from Hawkwind, the Psychedelic Selection, which is basically a collection of old songs that are kind of remastered a bit, or archived songs if you prefer. Some future expectations, so they lead, some of the music leads to another future feeling in the album. And of course, there are some new studio material here, only a few, but there's some on the album. So it's a kind of different type of an album. I wouldn't call this I guess they're going to call it a studio album. The album is called Psychedelic Selection. Came out June the 26th is the release date. It's about an hour, 72 minutes if you prefer, 72 minutes in length. Cherry Red record label. So the band, of course, is the current Hawkwind band. David Brock on guitar and vocals. Richard Chadwick on drums. Magnus Martin on guitars as well, and Doug McKinnon on bass, and Tim Paul Lewis on keyboards. So there is a lot of stuff going on this album. To me, it sounds like a very typical Hawkwind album, but they've kind of brought some of the classic Hawkwind forward and redid it in a more modern Hawkwind sound, but definitely has a lot of psychedelic flavor to it. Of course, it's very spacey, as most Hawkwind albums are. It does have some crossover sounds with other bands here as well. And overall, I think it's a pretty decent album. I did enjoy it. Lots of your typical noises that you get with Hawkwind, and those spacey sounds and symphonic sounds and electronic sounds and all kinds of stuff going on here. So the first couple of tracks on the album, I believe, are new tracks. I do not recall hearing these anywhere else. So this is Four Legs Good, Two Legs Bad is the opening track. A narrative with a kind of multi-sounds going on. So it's spoken narrative, which is something that Hawkwind uses quite a bit on their albums. There's quite a bit more on this album than generally you get on a Hawkwind album, but there is definitely some spoken narrative here. A slow symphonic sound throughout this whole track. It's just a very brief song, less than 2 minutes long. I did like it. I didn't like it initially, and then I kind of warmed up to it as the album went along, as I got into the mode. Next up, there's the other song, There's Fairies in the Garden. This is another narrative again. Symphonic noises with minute percussion and vocal parts going on. A little bit of crossover there. Some low-end guitar and keyboard riffs going on as well. Very psychedelic in nature, this particular track. Picks up tempo as it moves along. This is not uncommon for Hawkwind. They sometimes will start out in a more slow melodic mode and then pick up tempo as they go along. So I didn't mind this track as well. The next one is Hurry on Sundown. This is an archival song that they've redone. A bit of an up-tempo, spacey song. Vocals are melodic and kind of in that mid-range sound that you come to expect from Dave Brock. A low, slow, melodic, psychedelic slide guitar sound. Solo, I guess, is a good way to put it. A pretty interesting track. It does get better as you get to the Demented Man. This is one of the longer tracks, just over 7.5 minutes in length. Another archival type track. Kind of slow, melodic, spacey, psychedelic, lots of keyboards, lots of synthesizer sounds with a bit of an acoustic guitar fill going on in there. The vocals are mid-range, spacey, melodic sounding. Yeah, just a typical kind of Hawkwind sound here. Tortured Mind is the next one up. I didn't like this one as much, but I still think it's a decent enough song. Somewhat heavy, melodic, psychedelic riff. Mid-range vocals, very spacey. Persistent, rhythmic percussion and drum part here. It does develop a somewhat scattered guitar riff as the song goes along. I thought it was another decent song from them. I'm going to flip over to the back half. So there's a total of 15 tracks on this album, ranging in from bit parts that are like 2 minutes or so, all the way up to 6-7 minute parts. The Land of Men, or the Land of Men, I guess it is. I wrote men, I don't know why, but I think it's men. I believe this is a previously unreleased track. I don't recall this song anywhere. And to me, there's a couple of highlights on this album. This is one of them. It's got a very spacey, psychedelic opening. This is the typical Hawkwind opening. Nice synth and sounds on this particular track. It does pick up tempo and gets a bit heavier, very rhythmic part. Lots of spacey noises, almost hypnotic in sound, really. Some insect, bird noises at the end. You heard this on the first track as well. Pretty strong song. I think this is one of the two highlights for me on the album. The next up is Part Human Behavior, No Sex Allowed is the name of the track. Again, another spoken voice or narrative part, if you prefer, with the multiple synthesizers. A little bit mellow towards the end. I do kind of like the way this song goes down at the end. It's a very quick song. It's like it's a couple minutes long. Next is another 6.5 minute track, The Days of the Underground. Low, slow, melodic sound. Nice, scrapey kind of synthesizer parts. A melodic keyboard part as well. The vocals, voice-like, narrative, spoken, whatever you want to call it. Acoustic guitar becomes more prominent as the track goes along. And a soundscape of spacey noises going on throughout the background. Another decent track by them. Out of the Lock, a little over 4 minutes in length. A narrative. Another spoken track, heavy distorted psychedelic with some riffs going on throughout this track. The vocals, very spacey, symphonic sound. And then again, another heavy drum riffing track as well. The PSI Power, this one's one of the better tracks on the album, just under 7 minutes. I think it might actually be the second longest track on the album. Some nice spacey sounds. Guitar and drum driven riff that just kind of takes over the backbone of the song, and you got some nice mid-range spacey heavy vocals. Human Zoo, that's the other kind of highlight on the album for me. Nice heavy guitar riff and distorted psychedelic feel, some real spacey synthesizers. This one has all the Hawkwind elements that I like, and hence the reason why it's one of the ones I like the most. The multiple vocal parts here, all distorted, but very forward at the same time. And some heavy distorted psychedelic solo on the electric guitar. Really good. This is a tasty song. The next one up is The Judge and the Fisherman. Some organs here, a little bit of keyboards, and percussion noises, and a very psychedelic track, one of the more psychedelic tracks. And this one has a female kind of spoken voice in it as opposed to the male ones we were getting in the other track. Some strong guitar noises as well. Some repetitive percussion noises, sounds, and voices going on in the background here. So a pretty strong song as well, The Judge and the Fisherman. Just a little under 3.5 minutes. Next up, Goon Hilly Downs. Kind of a strange name, but I guess there's a place in England that has that as its name. More synthesizers and keyboard sounds and electronic synthesizer sounds and noises going on here. This is kind of a repetitive, spacey guitar and rhythm beat throughout this whole track. Lots of electronic noises. Overall, very spacey, but an instrumental, no vocals on this one. The next track, Ocean Spiral. Some nice piano here, very good, repetitive. It's a constant repeating on cycle, but I do kind of like it. It draws your attention. There's lots of sounds and noises, and of course an acoustic guitar part here as well. Very symphonic, very synthesizer sounds. Also an instrumental. And then the final track, which I think ends off on the strong note. We got 3 songs here, I think, kind of spaced out, one towards the front, one in the middle towards the back, and then the back and final song, Traveler of Space. It's a low, slow, symphonic sound, very mellow. Vocals are clear, melodic, medium range, almost a ballad. This is almost like a ballad, I think. Some low, slow guitar soloing as well, just to add to that overall kind of melodic ending to the album, and a bit of a hint, I guess, at what might be coming next. So anyways, I think this is a very good Hawkwind album. I have enjoyed some of their more recent ones. I do like a lot of their early stuff quite a bit. And then there's a sprinkling of stuff throughout their history that I think is really good. Some of it maybe not so good, but a lot of it's pretty good. But they're very consistent. I have yet to do a year where I started doing this, where I started with What's New, and then I did a second year of What's New, and then I split it into new Prog albums and What's New, and I've had at least one Hawkwind album every year, and I suspect that will continue long past maybe when I'm still doing this channel. I don't know. Anyways, that's the album for today, Hawkwind's new Psychedelic Selection, a kind of mismatch of archival material that's redone, some new stuff by the band, and then there's also a little bit of this what did we call it here, future expectations towards the back half of the album about where they might be going in the future. It's kind of, I guess, a bit of a there's a little bit of a concept going on here. I don't know, but I think it's a good album. I think it's worth purchasing, so likely I will get it, but I spent all my money for the next couple of weeks, so I gotta wait my turn. Anyways, take care and enjoy your evening, and don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. Make any of your comments in the comment section below. We'll see you all next week. Take care.